Hey everybody, my name is Michael or Kiratze Online. Hopefully you guys are having a positively fantastic day so far, and I'm here with another episode of You Should Play, and this is You Should Play Rebel Galaxy Outlaw. This is a game developed by Double Damage Games, and it is a space western action adventure game, and it serves as a prequel to their other game, which is just named Rebel Galaxy, which some of you might have played. And I think I can't remember if I actually did a You Should Play on that game. I don't believe I did, but I do remember actually streaming some of Rebel Galaxy, and I did really enjoy that game. And when I heard about this game, I was watching Bike Man, I think, stream a little bit of it, and I just instantly fell in love. And I was like, this has a lot of the things that I wished the first game had, and it just sort of makes the game bigger, better, and I'm a huge fan of it. It does, of course, take quite a bit of a different path due to sort of its narrative and it serving as a prequel to the other game, mainly for just changing the big mechanic that you are not driving these big honking ships and only being able to use the x-axis. You are actually able to use the y-axis and fly up and down in this game and fly in all 3D space, as well as it serves more of a small scale dogfighting game. You are driving just sort of single pilot ships in this game, and it is just it is much smaller base. Now that doesn't mean that there aren't larger freighter ships out and about that you can or cannot pillage. And it is totally up to you whether or not you want to become a pirate, but it is more of a focus on sort of that small scale. But I am really loving this game. I think I have probably about 10 hours in this game so far, and I'm still loving it. I'm still grinding away trying to earn bigger and better ships and enjoying the narrative. This game does have a pretty interesting story. It mostly serves as a shell, though, as to sort of what you're doing in this world. You are playing a main protagonist named Juno Markev. She is sort of a bounty hunter that has sort of at the very intro of the game, you sort of get this nice little animated intro scene of her sort of trying to find her mark, and he ends up finding her actually, and sort of having this little bar fight scene. She actually runs away, and in that pursuit of her mark chasing her, she ends up crash landing, and sort of that's sort of where your story begins, and it's that sort of tried and true space western story of you have you sort of pull some favors, you come across this very garbage dump truck of a of a spaceship, and it's up to you to grind up the credits, whether it be bounty hunting, farming resources, trading, or doing missions for the Commonwealth, and a whole variety of activities you can do to earn credits. And it's up to you to sort of try and get back at whoever did this to you, as well as figure out some other things about your past. And I haven't really dove into the main story in all the 10 hours that I've played. I've probably only done a couple of the first main story missions. A lot of what the main story serves is mostly just a roadblock as to, okay, you come across this point in the main story. Are you good enough to complete it? If not, okay, maybe you need to chill out, maybe go do some other missions, go do some more cargo runs, and figure things out, upgrade your ship from there, and tackle the main mission again. So that's where it sort of serves a main purpose. I don't have the experience to comment on sort of how good the main story is, but it definitely is interesting enough. Like, the characters are cool, and I am enjoying sort of the people that I come across, especially with like the buddy mechanic and stuff like that, where you can sort of complete these side stories almost, and then earn buddies that you can actually call in to help you in dogfights, which is pretty cool. Plus, everything is voice acted, which is really, really awesome. The voice acting is I wouldn't say like the best thing in the world. Obviously, it is a very small developer team. I believe they only have like 8 people on their development team, which is pretty insane considering the scope of this game and how high quality it is. And so voice acting overall, though, for the main characters at least, is really good. I'm enjoying it. They definitely fit the character visually, which is always a good thing. And you definitely have that space western vibe. If you're familiar with like Firefly or Cowboy Bebop, if you're interested in any of that kind of stuff, this is the game for you. I should probably also preface this. This is what you're seeing in this video is a pre-release build. Big thanks to Double Damage Games for actually giving me an early access key to take a look at this game. I am going to be uploading this before the actual release date of the game, but it won't be too far off. The game does come out August 13th, and I will be uploading this August 10th, or the evening of the August 10th. So if you are watching this, don't worry. In a couple of days, you will be able to play this game. Just a heads up as well, it is an Epic Games exclusive, so just bear that in mind. I'll say I don't have any issue with with the store, and I think for games of high quality as this, you're missing out. But they are going to be moving it to Steam in a year, and there's always things to play. So if you don't mind waiting and you're preferable to Steam, there's no problem with that. That will be coming to Steam next year. It is a year exclusivity, so it's just exactly a year away. And then they will be also getting the PS4 and Switch copies actually out in the future. They're still fine-tuning it and figuring out stuff for that. They don't have a release date announced for that, I believe. So just bear that in mind. But yeah, the game is super, super fun. I don't play too many of the games, to be honest. This game is sort of a spiritual successor to a game called Privateer, which a lot of people are a big fan of, and games of that nature. So if you are someone who has played that game in the past and you did really enjoy it, this is probably going to be sort of a must-buy for you. The best thing I love about this game is its atmosphere. It really does capture that Cowboy Bebop, Firefly-esque vibe, where you are sort of this grungy space western person. I was gonna say space western pirate, but you don't have to be there. You can join the pirate side if you want to in this game. Trying to find purchase information about freighters to sort of ambush them, or you can take more missions on with the Commonwealth and try and sort of be, I guess, quote unquote the good guys and do things from there. There's a lot of cool different ways you can play this game. Like they're doing the market and playing the trade market is something completely viable, where you are able to sort of mine resources, or if you're just smart at paying attention to what the market is doing, because depending on what location you are, things do sell better in certain places than others, as well as certain places are demanding certain items out and about, and they'll buy them at a premium. So you can actually play the market, and that's actually where I earned a lot of my early money, was just doing that, was just finding loot and figuring out, okay, where is the best place I can sell this for the most money. So it's really, really cool in that aspect. It is sort of just a playground for you to explore and figure things out. But a lot of it is just sort of that section-to-section exploration and combat. Coming across random pirates, or maybe you had some contraband on your ship and some Dodge troopers ran a scan on you and it's time to bring them down. The dogfighting in this game is really, really fun. And it combined with the music, oh man, the music is insane. They have over 21 hours of licensed music for this game. For content creators like myself, they do have a stream-friendly mode. Now that being said, there is going to be some. They are still trying to sort out some issues where some things are still being copyright claimed. But so I'm not gonna, as much as I would like to, I'm not gonna preview any of the music in this video, just to sort of be safe, so it doesn't get claimed right away. At least not until they sort that thing out. But they do have the Rebel Galaxy Outlaw soundtrack, I believe, on Spotify. So if you do want to check that out, you can, as well as just go to any stream. You can listen to the music because everyone plays it nonstop on the radio, and it is fantastic. They got some killer like rock music, metal music, jazz music, classical even, some more techno type stuff. Everything that you want are in the radio stations that are available, even along with their own fun little custom made ads for the game, which is really, really fun to listen to. It really does up the level of immersion. And when you are sort of flying around and dogfighting and chasing down stuff, and there's missiles flying around, and you have this like awesome rock music going, it just gets you so in the mood. And it does feel like you are part of like the Cowboy Bebop anime, or Firefly and stuff like that, and a bunch of other of these crazy awesome space western mediums. And yeah, it's just really, really fun, especially when you get into the larger dogfights where you do have tons and tons of fighters going on about with multiple different factions fighting all in the same area. It's just a really, really intense and fun experience. In terms of sort of the ships themselves, there's some very, very cool looking ships, and they all have their own different functions, ranging from like a big merchant ship, which has just like heavy armor and it's just slow, but it has a lot of cargo space, to sort of more your smaller fighter dogfighting ships. There's 9 ships in total, I believe. You get sort of 5 of them right off the start in terms of being able to select them from ship dealers early on, and the other 4, I believe, you have to find, whether it be through side missions or things of that nature. So I personally haven't found the other 4 yet. I'm really excited to try and find them because I'm sure they're really, really cool. But it is very, very fun, sort of that grind of, okay, trying to upgrade your ship. It has tons and tons of different ways to upgrade it, from shields to power supply to different hardpoint weapons to turrets to cargo space, and so on and so forth. In addition to what you saw earlier in the video, if you want to skip back there, the ship editor is the best ship editor in terms of visual, like, in-depth customization that I've ever seen. It is, if you skip back to the video, you'll see that it's pretty much just they put Photoshop in the game. It's like Photoshop Lite. So it doesn't have, of course, every single Photoshop feature, but they even have stuff like layers. They have stencils you can put on. So like, for example, in one of the earlier ships I did, I put my stream logo on my ship. You can import your own images and stencils. You can customize your own brushes. It's really, really insane. And I can't wait to see what people come up with for this game in terms of them. Because I know there's going to be, for the end game ships, there's going to be people that are going to spend hours and hours and hours just sort of painting on their ship. Because, you actually do paint on your ship, and you can paint on each panel. You can use the fill color, the paint bucket tool. It's pretty incredible, to be honest. You can change the lighting in it so you can get a better idea of what it looks like in different lighting. There's even a photo mode in the game, so if you have like some crazy explosions going on, you can pause the game, do a photo mode, and have a really, really cool screenshot to have. They've really thought of a ton of different features that just make this game extraordinary. I think this game has obviously this game is for mainly people who do enjoy space western dogfighting games, but the fact that it's not exactly like a space simulator game, it's more of a space arcadey type dogfighting game. I think it's going to appeal to quite a few more people. Not to mention a cool little thing later on in the future. They don't have this feature released yet. I think they're still fine tuning it, but in the ship editor screen, there's even a drop-down menu where you can actually 3D print your ship, and the developers will send it to you. That's freaking cool. So I can't, obviously it's probably not going to be a crazy, crazy high-end 3D print, and it's probably going to be a little bit of a smaller model, but that's still pretty darn insane. So you can spend hours customizing your ship, painting on it, making it look exactly how you want it, and then you can get it 3D printed. I don't believe they've released any information on how much extra that's going to cost or things like that, but I'm sure it's going to be fairly reasonable for what you get. But yeah, in terms of the action, everything's super awesome. The controls are extremely tight. All the keys are rebindable. You can play this on joystick, mouse, and keyboard, or a controller. They obviously do recommend controller, and I, as well as many others, do recommend the same. There have been streamers that I've seen play it on mouse and keyboard, and then pretty much right away they switch over to controller. It just feels right. You will have to do a little bit of key binding, I think. I don't believe the default key binds are exactly that great, so you will have to fiddle around with that. But yeah, it's really, really fun. Just the speed of everything and sort of how the aim assisting works, it doesn't impede things too much. There's a few different difficulty levels you can select off the start. You can't change them in the middle of the game, so make sure you are pretty confident on your skill level as well as what you want to play moving forward in terms of your control style. So I believe they have 4 different difficulty levels. So you have your normal difficulty level, which is just sort of, it has the aim assist on, and the aim assist isn't like aim aimbot or anything like that. Essentially, the aim assist just allows you to sort of stay in the general idea of the opponent, and most of your weapons will hit. Obviously, it will still give you the reticles to aim for, where obviously if you are aiming at that reticle, you'll have more of your weapons hit. So it does still require aiming, and due to sort of the speed of the game, it still is challenging in certain against certain ships, because your opponents do have some ships that are obviously made for dogfighting and are fairly quick. Then there is also, normal mode. You start with like a reasonable amount of starting equipment, which isn't like complete dog shit. The difficulty above that is veteran, where you have the aim assist still as well, but your starting ship and starting equipment are like the lowest of the low. That's the one I started on, and I would say it's probably the way the game should be meant. Should be played. Obviously, it is a little bit more grinding, since you do have to work towards better equipment a lot quicker, since you are sort of more equipment locked out of some of those earlier missions, due to just not having enough firepower or not enough shield or so on and so forth. But to be honest, the grinding in this game is I wouldn't even say it's really grinding, because even though you are doing fairly similar things over and over, there's enough variety to make it interesting. Not to mention, it's just fun. Like, doing dogfights over and over, like that's what you're going to be doing most of the game anyways, but it's just the combat's so much fun with the music and everything. It just makes it a blast. Like there's no other way to really describe it other than that. It's just good quality fun, good action through and through, and it's like super epic, especially when you have explosions going on and missiles flying past you. It just makes the whole package come together. And then on top of that, I believe you have there's a simulator difficulty, and then there's an old school difficulty. I don't believe I remember what the old school difficulty is, but I believe the sim difficulty is it turns the aim assist off. So the accuracy reticules that appear, along your target, where you have to aim to, sort of make your weapons actually connect with the opponent. I believe you have to actually aim at those to actually hit your opponent. The aim assist does not help you with like certain weapons. So if you're a pro at flight sim games, that's probably going to be the one that you'll want to do. But the game is quite quick. So remember, it's more of an arcadey flight sim game. It's not a realistic flight sim game. But yeah, I think that's probably all I have to say about the game. I am sort of, I guess I would say, halfway through the system in terms of the ship tiers. I am working my way towards the big Durston, which is like this big ass merchant ship, which has like 24 cargo hold space. It's got heavy armor. It's got like a bunch of turret spots, and I'm actually going to try and use that and make a big tank, which should be pretty fun. And then I'll work my way towards the very end game ship, which I think is called the Coyote, which is like a super quick, small, fast dogfighting ship. And yeah, I have a bunch of things that I need to do. Like there's awesome side missions that pop up with voice acted characters, and they have their own storylines, which will unlock new equipment sometimes. So I'm going to be really excited to try and explore those. I haven't even done any mining. I do want to play the market a little bit more. There's a bunch of different systems to explore, and secret loot to find. So I haven't even done any of that. I haven't done any bounty hunting yet. There's a lot I still haven't done. And like I said, I've played about 10 hours, and for the price of this game is about $30, or your regional equivalent. So for that price, and for how much of enjoyment I've already gotten out of those 10 hours, I've already made my money's worth, and I'm really looking forward to playing more. If you are looking forward to seeing this game live and you want to ask me questions, I will be streaming this game quite a bit in the next a little while, especially through launch. So you can find my Twitch link in the description below. I've had a lot of new faces come into this chat and ask questions about the game, so I'm happy to answer any questions that you guys might have about the game. And of course, as you guys know, we are still continuing our Final Fantasy XIV Online main story playthrough, and we have a bunch of games looking forward to playing moving into the end of August as well as moving into September. So I hope you guys follow my Twitch channel. It's the main way to stay up to date on all my content, and I love talking to you guys. It's always nice when people come over to my Twitch chat and say, "Hey, I found you through your YouTube video," and they stay and hang out and chat. I really do appreciate that. It does mean a lot to me. And yeah, this game is awesome. If any of the stuff I talked about or anything that you saw interested you, you can go pick up the game right now on the Epic Game Store, or of course you can always wait for a year and pick it up on Steam in the future. And definitely pay attention to their Twitter, which is just Rebel Galaxy, and they'll have more information on the PS4 and Switch versions. But until next time, guys, thank you guys so much for watching, and take care.